A 19-year-old girl was found dead in the freezer. The hotel is affiliated with the police department. The hotel bio research place is affiliated. The crematory place is affiliated. Everything that about that hotel is affiliated with that police department in Rosemont. They have the same address. 2 live videos that was posted by those 2 people that's affiliated in gangs, posted live videos in details about what happened to Kenneka, what was going to happen to Kenneka. All that's facts to the case. Everything else is the images, is made up, said, and everything. Y'all people have to understand. Y'all got to figure out what's true and what's fake. And even the fake shit, I keep telling y'all over and over, the fake stuff also is telling us the real deal.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Edward Joseph, and let's talk live. Kenneka Jenkins, there's more to this story. All right, let's talk. Well, today, peoples, has been such an interesting day. I am here, I am live, and I am going to talk about some things, peoples. Peoples, Kenneka Jenkins, there is more to this story. You guys come on in. You guys come on in. You guys come on in, for there is so much to talk about, peoples. You guys come on in. Peoples, I am here and I am back, and I am back to talk about the Kenneka Jenkins case. Peoples, I have gotten some more information that pertains to this case, and within a couple of days' time, I will be back live to share with you what my findings is, peoples. I said I'll be back in a couple of days to share with you what my findings is, peoples. But as I stated before, peoples, I am here and I'm here to talk about the Kenneka Jenkins case, peoples. I'm here and I'm here to shed light upon all of the things that has happened within this case, peoples. And so, that's what it is, peoples. I mean, I was sitting here and I was looking at the commentary for what the people had went on and spoke about in things. And it is amazing to me because a lot of people are literally commenting on the channel. And I didn't really take the time out to take a look at all of that stuff, peoples, but that's okay. I see it now. And so now I'm going to do my due diligence, and I'm going to make sure that I look at all of the commentary that the people had left in things, because a lot of people left a lot of commentary upon a lot of the videos that I have done. And so, peoples, I just happened to be looking at some videos and stuff, and then this came into my algorithm. This particular video had came into my algorithm, and I was just like literally shocked to the bones. Literally shocked to the bones because of there is, and like I had said in a lot of my lives, that human trafficking and organ harvesting is real. I said human trafficking and organ harvesting is real. It's real, people. It is real. And the people don't understand that it is real. And that people can go to the hospital and they can go to some medical clinic or something and come up disappeared without a trace. And yes, it has happened, people. It has literally happened. And I am going to share with you some of the things, peoples, and stuff, because although I had made mention of that and stuff, there was someone who had did a live who had got some major receipts, and that was really good because I'm kind of like, man, this is really along the lines of what I have been talking about forever and a day. And I'm so glad to be able to have come across this particular live in things because it literally expresses the various things that I have been saying forever and a day. And that's a good thing, people. That is a good thing. And so now I'm just here and I'm working behind the scenes and stuff because I'm putting some things together. I'm putting some things together for all of the people to see and to understand. And so, you guys just stay tuned because this is going to be a whirlwind event, peoples. This is going to be a whirlwind live. And it's going to answer a lot of the questions that the people have asked. And it's going to dispel the myth, peoples. You know, a lot of these theories that the people had and things and stuff. No, it's going to bring clarity out of confusion, peoples. And it's going to validate the various things that I have been saying within this case forever in a day. And so, peoples, I just had to come on here and I just had to speak to the people just for a moment and things and stuff because, again, you know, a lot of people had questions, but I'm going to give you answers. And then we're going to do a deep dive into human trafficking and organ harvesting. And we are going to put on notice the establishment, Crown Plaza in Rosemont, Illinois. We are going to put them on notice, peoples. And we're going to put them on blast. Yes, we are going to do a deep dive, peoples, because see, the thing is that we're not going to sit back and be silent and allow this girl's memories just to fade in the wind. No, no. As long as the good Lord gives me breath, I am going to continue to be an advocate and I am going to continue to keep calling out the hilarious and nefarious people for the madness that they have done in this case. And we will not allow Kenneka Jenkins' situation, her death, to be in vain, peoples. No. Her living was not in vain, peoples. I said Kenneka Jenkins' living was not in vain, peoples. And so we're going to bring clarity out of confusion. And we are going to hold account these hilarious and nefarious people for the madness that they have done. Now, peoples, you guys stay tuned. I said, you guys stay tuned because it is about to come, peoples. You guys stay tuned for the short that I am going to be posting in things. And it's going to be very, very enlightening, peoples. You won't want to miss that short. And then you don't want to miss the live that follows behind that, peoples. And so again, like I said, peoples, I had to come and I had to speak to the people because I had to go ahead share this information that I had gathered. I see some people has come in, so let's give a shout out to hello Kev J. How are you, my friend? It is a blessing to see you on today. Kev J had said, man, the best friend is playing Kenneka. Kenneka walked out the hotel with a guy at 116. She never walked the halls. The best friend and family set her up. The hotel manager and security guard. Well, that's good information, Kev J. That's good information, and I'm glad that you literally feel the way that you do. And see, all I'm doing here is just trying to bring clarity out of confusion. That's all that I'm doing. I'm just trying to bring clarity out of confusion. And so, you know, let me just do this, peoples, because I think I can do this. Let me just go ahead And let me go ahead and play this live that I had found on tonight. And I'll just listen to. And I was going to go ahead and just hold off on it and things before, and was going to take it and splice it up. But I think this is very important for the people to hear, because what this person had revealed is something shocking. It is very shocking, peoples, and it's really something. It is really something that you know people really don't quite understand, and so this is not that long, so I'm going to go ahead and play this, people. This is not that long, so if you guys give me a moment, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to download this and stuff so I can go ahead and play it back for you. But I see my people had come in. Hello, Mello. How are you, my friend? It is a blessing to see you on today. Mello is saluting the chat. And so, peoples, I consistently and insistently keep looking, searching, and keep finding different tidbits and stuff. And like I say, everybody has a piece to this puzzle. Edward Joseph just don't have it all. Everybody has a piece to this puzzle, peoples. Do you understand what I'm saying? And so, we just need to take the time out to listen, and then we can learn some things, because this good, juicy information that these people are sharing and stuff can help us along our way. And it help us to get a greater understanding as to a lot of things that has taken place. And so, like I said, peoples, we need to go ahead and we need to start holding these organizations in account and bring in clarity to it. We need to hold them to account, and we need to bring awareness to the various things that they have done, peoples. We need to do that. And the only way that we can be successful is we continue to keep exposing these hilarious and nefarious people for the madness that they have done. And so I get it, people. And I'm glad that the people are chiming out because, again, I respect everybody's opinion. I do. I respect everybody's opinion. And I want everybody to chime out. But while you are chiming out, the one thing that I do want you to do is I want you to come with some receipts. Don't just chime out and just give a narrative and things and stuff, but come with some receipts. Come with something that we can be able to look at and to be able to validate to a certain degree. Now, I know that you won't be able to show everything, but it should be something that you should be able to show to people, because see, again, I show and I tell. That's how I do it. And that's what brought all of you here. And so while you're telling it, you need to give us something to show it. Do you understand what I'm saying? So what I am showing you, I am telling you as well. And so if you're going to tell, show something, give us a direction as to invalidate your claim as to what you are saying. You got to be able to express it in great detail. And that's just the way that it is, people, because, everybody, they can give a narrative, but what's good is the narrative if you don't have any backings, right? And that's all that it is. I mean, everybody wants us to believe what many of you say, but again, you got to come up with some type of proof, some type of evidence, some type of something that literally backs up your claim. I did it. Now you need to do it. Is that all right, peoples? All right, peoples, you guys hold on for a moment. Let me go ahead and check this live and see if it's completed and stuff, because this is something that you guys definitely need to hear. Every last one of you. You guys need to hear this, peoples. And I'm going to share this live,
After a recent video I posted about people.
I'm going to share this live because you guys definitely need to hear this and things because, it's happening. And it's happening in real time. It's happening today. Do you understand what I'm saying, people? It's happening today. So I see my peoples came in. So let me go ahead and give a shout out to Hello, Island Girl 49. How are you, ma'am? It is a blessing to see you on tonight. Island Girl 49 says, hi, everyone. Hello, Randall Robinson. How are you, my friend? It is a blessing to see you on tonight. Randall Robinson had said, salute everyone. And then Mr. Kev J had said, my bad, she has a black zip tie around her neck. And then Mello had says, Island Girl, salute to your family. And then Island Girl 49 has says, hi, Mello. And then Kev J has said, I'm all about facts, brother. Well, Mr. Kev J, I don't dispute the various things that you're saying, but what I do say is that in order for me, Edward Joseph, to believe anything that you say, you got to come up with something better than just you saying it. I need to see some receipts. I need to see something that will lead me into believing or either exploring that of what you're saying. I'm just not going to take for face value just because you said it. I mean, I had a lot of people up on my channel come and say a whole lot of things and stuff, and then come to find out that they are hilarious and nefarious. And so, to be fair to you, as to be fair to others, do as I do. Now, everything that I talked about this Kenneka Jenkins case, I have literally shown you my receipts, and I have given you my narrative as to why I said it. So now, my thing is with you, send me some links as to that of what you are trying to convey to us and stuff. Give us something more so than just your words, because words here doesn't mean anything if you don't have anything to back it up. Do you understand what I'm saying, my friend? I am giving you the benefit of the doubt, just like I give everybody else the benefit of the doubt. But in this particular live, we have to show something to back up the various things that we say. Not just go ahead and just throw out all of these theories without having anything to back it up. Now, if you got something to back it up, if you got some video footage, if you got some pictures, if you got anything that can bolster your claim, well, then, hey, I'll be more than willing to politic with you behind the scenes, and, we can take a look at that of what you have. But just saying what you're saying really doesn't mean anything to me unless you have something substantial that you can bolster your claim. And that's just only being fair, my friend. That's just only being fair. Because I have been on this case for quite some time, and I've heard every conspiracy theory there is out there and whatnot. But there is things that I have done research my own, and I have brought to the channel, and I have brought validity out of stupidity. Because again, when I had stated that there were several girls who played Kenneka, I have literally shown you that there were several girls who played Kenneka. Now, out of 7+ years of all of the people talking about this Kenneka Jenkins case, I am the first and only one who have shown you from the video footage that they provided and shown you the different girls who played Kenneka. I've shown you by the different attire. I've shown you by the different hairstyle. Nobody has ever brought that out. Nobody but Edward Joseph has ever brought out the different hairstyles that the girls was wearing. Now everybody don't go and play in their hair when they're at parties and things. People don't sit there and braid their hair and have their hair in all of these different manners and things if they're at a party. I brought that out and I brought it to the attention of the people to let them know unequivocally and undeniably these are the different girls who played Kenneka. And nobody has ever done that. And still today, to date, nobody can ever debunk me because of the simple fact that is actual, factual, and true. And there it is right there, my friend. Island Girl 49 has says, hi, Randall. Kev J had said, all the bloggers was there, and most of them is the Martin family. Oh, I know. You, yes, you are speaking facts about that. I do know, my friend. I do know. And you say Mr. Man Productions saw proof on his page. Well, I disagree with that. I totally disagree with that. And I'm not going to give the man clout status just because you said, again, you got to come up with some receipts, my friend. You know, I've listened to the brother forever and a day, and just because he said it doesn't make it law to me. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you said that we matched the police reports with the footage. Well, I doubt that very seriously. Because, again, and according to my findings, the police report is hilarious and nefarious. The video footage is hilarious and nefarious. And the video footage is not all in sequential order as you guys proclaim that it is. Now, that's my findings. Now, as far as the police reports is hilarious and nefarious because in the real world, my friend, narratives don't hold up in court. In the real world, detectives get statements from people, not narratives. A whole bunch of narratives will not hold up in court. And so all of this stuff that the people are saying and stuff, yeah, some of it is true, but a lot of it is fictitious, hilarious, and nefarious, and it's to steer you down a wrong path. So when you tell me that you match the police reports with the footage, well, then I say that that's bullshit, and I say that that's nonsense because, again, in the real world, narratives don't convict. Statements does. And all you had out of the whole case is narratives. And you got the brother who you politic with gave narratives because what he had stated was that he had been sent a letter from Franz Cave, which I say that is bullshit and bogus. Bullshit and bogus, because why would Franz Cave send him a letter and not send it to the real police department, which is the Chicago Police Department, the FBI, the CIA, or any other government entity that could have made a difference in this case? Not a so-called YouTuber who sits up here and be braggadocious about the various things that he had found. He has no power. He has no power whatsoever. And so all of his stuff that I have heard, in my opinion, and it's just my opinion, is hilarious and nefarious. Because anybody who sits around here who clouts and say that, well, Franz Cave sent me a letter is bogus. It's hilarious and it is nefarious. Now, if you really did any true research and you really looked at the case files in a manner to which you proclaimed that you have done, then you would discover that there are major inconsistencies in the case file. Major inconsistencies. And so I can't see how you or him can ever tie anything of substantial and that is credible, because again, the video footage is hilarious, it's nefarious, and it's edited. And you can't really go by the video footage, my friend, because again, it wasn't Kenneka Jenkins that ever walked the halls of that establishment. You can't debunk me, and he can't debunk me. And so that is a moot point. But if you want to have a conversation about that, I mean, we can, hey, come on to my panel and stuff, and let's get down to it. You know, let's have a wonderful conversation and things. Let's be respectful to each other. And you bring your receipts, I'll bring you my receipts, and we can break this thing down like real men should and things. But I'm here to tell you that if you're thinking that you're going by the video footage and then you're trying to match up the police reports with the video footage, I can already tell you that is hilarious and it is nefarious. It's hilarious and it's nefarious. But I'm willing to entertain that of what you have to say, my friend. You know, but bear in mind, when I start to drop down that hammer, don't start crying, because I ain't lying. Now, see, here we go again, because see, now I try to give this man the benefit of the doubt and stuff, and now I'm being browbeated, all because I am saying that what he is saying is hilarious and nefarious. Now I must be an op, and he wants to sit up here and he wants to bolster this other content creator's channel. But my friend, you know, I get it. You know, I get it. You're a softy. You are hilarious and nefarious. I tried to give you the benefit of the doubt. Now you want to come and you want to be very critical when I gave you an opportunity to come and politic with me. But now you want to throw that out the window by your own commentary. So that tells me that you don't even have a thick skin. You're weak. And you want to come to my channel to try to promote another content creator's channel and things, but you're weak. And based upon what you had said, it just shows me that you are weak. You are weak, my friend. And so it is no need for me to sit here and play tiddlywink games with you and stuff. So you know what I call people like you? I'll call people like you a sucker. You are a lollipop. You're a sucker. Because see, the thing is, anybody who's true and real that really wants to politic with Edward Joseph wouldn't come out and start being derogatory right off the bat. Do you understand what I'm saying? But you came off being derogatory right off the bat. Now I must be an op. Why must I be an op? Because I don't agree with what you're saying, and you're sitting up here trying to promote another person's channel. You know, that's crazy, my friend. That is crazy. And so if you continue with that of what you're speaking, I'm just going to kick your little black ass out of here. Is that all right, my friend? Now, I tried to be nice. I tried to be nice, and I tried to give you the benefit of the doubt. But if you continue to keep coming with this negative madness and stuff, I'm going to kick your ass out of here. It ain't no need for me to be mad. You're all in your feelings and stuff because I gave you an opportunity to politic with Edward Joseph. But you come in, yeah, okay, well, now. So you ain't got to say goodbye. Let me just delete your ass right now. Let me just delete your ass right now. Goodbye. Now you're banned for good. sucker. See, people's, it's suckers like that are just like lollipops. They're lollipops. I gave the man the benefit of the doubt to come in to try to talk with me about the case and stuff and to prove his stance. But yet he's coming, oh, well, you got to be an op. You mad and all like this. No, what I got to be mad for? Sucker, you came to my channel. I didn't call you. You came. And then you came with this madness on your lips because, see, you thought that I was going to call out his name. You thought that I was going to give that man some play. But no. See, I understand the play, people. I get it. I understand the play. And when suckers come in and wants to call you an op right off the bat, they ain't serious. And then when they want to come in and say that, well, they took the narratives and matched it up with the video footage, when we know that the narratives is bullshit, the video footage is bullshit, all of that is bullshit. And so if it's bullshit, what are you telling Edward Joseph? What is it that you're telling me? Because if the girl ain't never walked the halls of that establishment, well, then what is it that you're telling me? I've already shown you the other day, peoples, that a content creator of the name of Casey Chloe Overa Sanchez Medina had already debunked all of you suckers' asses. Because she said that Kenneka Jenkins never walked the halls of that establishment. She agreed with me. And when I said that Kenneka Jenkins never walked the halls of that establishment, I'm meaning that Kenneka Jenkins never walked the halls of the establishment on the 9th, the day that they said that she did. Now, I played back Casey Chloe Overa Sanchez Medina. I played back the statement that she gave. And she said, she never mentioned the 9th. She said that Kenneka came up missing that Friday. And that Friday was the 8th. And then she said that she was found later on that day, on Friday. I played the live back, peoples. I played back her statement. And so that debunks all of you suckers. Because when you wanted to try to be in her corner and try to politic with her, just by that statement alone had debunked each and every one of you. Because she agreed with me. Whether you like it or not, she agreed with me. Because I said Kenneka Jenkins never walked the halls of that establishment. And when I said that, I meant the 9th. And I've been saying that for over 7+ years. And that's exactly what I meant, peoples. And all of this time, Casey Chloe Overa Sanchez Medina had literally agreed with Edward Joseph. Now, peoples, I am going to play back that so you can hear it for yourself, peoples. Because she never mentioned the 9th, peoples. Do you understand what I'm saying? I said Casey Chloe Overa Sanchez Medina never mentioned the 9th, peoples. And so if you go back and watch the 2 lives that I just did just days ago, then you get a greater understanding as to what I have been trying to convey forever and a day. Do you understand, peoples? And so, see, it's wonderful that all of you are opinionated, and it's wonderful all of you got something to say about the Kenneka Jenkins case. But again, I respect what you say, peoples, and I'm not doubting what you say. But my thing is simply this. While you are giving your opinions, I need you to come up to my panel. I need you to show me some video footage, some pictures or postings or whatever you got. And I need you to explain your stance in great detail. Because just because you think it, just because you feel it, just because you say it, it doesn't make it law to me. Do you understand what I'm saying? And I don't need nobody to agree with me. And I really don't care if you disagree with me. But I just need you to come and shoot your shot and to show the people and to tell the people unequivocally and undeniably your stance. Why is that so hard, peoples? Why is it so hard for people to stand up and believe and to say what they need to say? I do it all the time. And so since I do it all the time, why can't you? Do you understand what I'm saying, peoples? See, I get it. Everybody wants to get their little tidbit in things and stuff, but your little tidbits really doesn't mean nothing to me. Do you understand what I'm saying? And so whether you agree with me or not, come up to the panel and shoot your shot and tell the people. That's all that I want the people to do. I don't care what your narrative may be. Come and shoot your shot and explain in great detail so the people can understand why you are saying what you're saying. And if you can't do it, then you know what I'll call you, peoples? I'll call you hilarious and nefarious. You know? And I'll just talk about you. I mean, you know, if you are bold enough to come to my channel to render and comment our viewpoint, well, then you should be bold enough to come to my live and have a conversation with me. If you feel strongly about what you say and things, well, then come and explain to the people. That's all. Nobody's going to ridicule you. Nobody's going to talk about you. Nobody's going to throw you under the bus and stuff. If you're for real. Now, if you're not for real, yeah, you know, it's a different story. I'm going to blast your ass big time. I'm going to blast your ass. But if you're for real and you're sincere in things, you know, well, then, yeah, I'm willing to listen. Because the people want to hear from the people. Do you understand what I'm saying? And this is why the many people are coming to my channel and things and stuff, because see, the thing is simply this, peoples, whether you agree with me or not, I stand 10 toes down with what I say. And I've always give a good, wholesome reason as to why I believe such. Now, if you can come and you can give a counter to what I say and stuff, and you can debunk me, well then come on. You know, come on. I'll put the link in the chat. And I'll have you guys to come up and come and talk with Edward Joseph. But if you can't do it, peoples, well then, you know, it's best that you just sit your tail back out in the chat or out in wherever you are and don't say nothing. Don't come in. Don't be disruptive. You know what I'm saying, peoples? That's the best thing that you can do and stuff. Is just sit back and just be quiet. That's it. And then learn something. That's it. That's all, peoples. All right, peoples. I see some more people had came into the chat, and so let me go ahead and give a shout out to hello Yolanda Laundry. How are you, ma'am? It is a blessing to see you on tonight. Yolanda had says Grand Rising, Mr. Edward and Mods chat salute. And I love that because Miss Anika Hope, my namesake, comes in and she says Grand Rising. And so blessings to you, Yolanda. Blessings. Welcome to Edward Joseph. Let's talk live. And I see some more people had came in. Hello, Ashley West. How are you, ma'am? It is a blessing to see you on today. Ashley West says, all the long going cases is to get our attention off of the truth that is really going on every day that is not being talked about, though. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right, Ashley. And this is one of the reasons why I stay laser focused. This is why I do what I do. And this is why I employ the people. If you guys got something to say, just come to the panel. I don't understand why it's such a hard task to do. If you feel strongly about the Kenneka Jenkins case and you feel strongly about the narrative that you give, but then come to the panel and let's have a conversation. That's all. You know, and I would have done it with the person and things, but see, when I disagreed with, and I wouldn't say the name of the person who he wants me to say the name of and stuff, now I'm an op. So you already know he's nefarious and hilarious. He didn't come in to, have a conversation and things and stuff. He came in for clout status. And I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't give it to him. I wouldn't give him the time of the day. And so that's why I had to block his ass for all eternity. Do you understand what I'm saying? And so I'm just looking for some good, wholesome people that can come in and that can exegese about this case. Now, I got a whole lot more to cover, and I'm going to show you this particular live and things because this is what I've talked about, but this brother went in far deeper than what I ever did. And I'm glad that he did because it goes along the lines of what I have been saying for years. And we're going to get deeper with this because, see, the live that I had did the other day and then previously to that is along the lines of what this guy had talked about. And you guys may not believe it, but again, you ain't got to believe it because you haven't brought nothing to the table to for me or anybody else to feast upon. So, I mean, what is it that you want me to say? It's amazing. It's amazing that everybody stays in my commentary on my lives, but yet I cannot get no one bold enough to come on record and to speak their piece about this case. And so, people, I just say sit back, relax, and shh, and then you'll learn something. Is that all right, peoples? I see my peoples came in. Hello, Carla Henry. How are you, ma'am? It is a blessing to see you on tonight. Carla Henry says blessings, Edward, in chat. And so, Ashley, you are absolutely right, ma'am. But I stay laser focused. I don't take my attention off of the things that I say and the things that I do. And this is one of the reasons why my channel is garnering the attention that is getting now and stuff, and it's reviving the Kenneka Jenkins case. It's reviving the Kenneka Jenkins case because, see, it is deeper than what many people think. Everybody think that just the young lady just came to the establishment, got drunk on her own, walked some halls of that establishment, and then walked herself in the freezer. Peoples, that is subliminals. They purposely design that for your enjoyment and for your entertainment. See, case in point, Ashley. Case in point. If Rosemont ever, the CP, the establishment, was ever wanting to be transparent, well, then all they had to do was just take a copy of the video that was on the server and give it directly to the police, not the Rosemont Public Safety, because they are not a police department. Give it to the real police. If they wanted to be transparent, they should have allowed the FBI to come in and do an investigation. They should have allowed the Chicago Police Department to do an investigation, because they are a real police department and they are equipped to handle cases like this. But they were in a rush to close the case. Why? Because these mothers was guilty as sin. Guilty. Period. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to know and understand CP was guilty as sin. And that's why they closed the case quickly. But because the new evidence has surfaced, they had to reopen the case, but then they closed it again. And that's what I'm trying to get the people to understand. Why did they close the case quickly? Why didn't they ask for help for the FBI? Why didn't they ask for help from the Chicago Police Department? Why? Because these suckers was guilty. Why did they have to go and wait all of this time to go ahead and release the video footage? Why did the beverage manager go and take the video footage down and they took it to Target for it to be edited? Why did the young lady who edited the video footage use a very old software that doesn't have updates? Come on, peoples. What does that tell you? It tells you cover up. But many of you give into these conspiracy theories. Many of you come and say all of this salacious madness, but you don't even know what the hell you're talking about. And that's my point, peoples. That is my point, peoples. That's what I've been trying to tell the people forever and a day. So when you want to sit here and listen to all of these stupid people give all of these stupid reasonings and things, well, then just go ahead and meditate upon what I just told you. We can get into this, people. We're going to get into this very deep because, again, had Chicago Police Department came down and assisted in an investigation, we would have had a different outcome. We would have had a different outcome, but we didn't have a different outcome, people, because of the simple fact that even the lieutenant that came from Chicago Police Department got paid off and he put them at bay. This is why Chicago Police Department never got involved. People, you got to understand, narratives don't convict. All of this paperwork with narratives is a part of the case files, but it's a part of what? What is the meaning of all of the case files? Peoples, what is the whole purpose of the case files? The whole purpose of the case files ain't nothing but a fictitious, hilarious, and nefarious novel. That's all it is. It ain't nothing but a bunch of conspiracies and theories. It's narratives. It's figmentations of people's imaginations. It ain't actual factual proof. It's narratives. Narratives don't convict. Statements does. You never seen, not one time did it ever says that this is the statement of the kids, of the establishment. You never seen statement written, peoples. You've seen narratives. The only time that you ever seen a statement in this whole Kenneka Jenkins case was the family statement that the attorney had said. This is the family statement. Statement is a matter of fact. Narratives is a figmentation of one's imagination. You need to understand that, peoples. And once you understand that, then you start to piece and you start to decipher this whole case for what it is. For what it is, peoples. It is a big story, and it's a storytelling. Narratives don't convict peoples. Statement does. And the only statement that was ever given in this Kenneka Jenkins case was the family statement. Something that was actual, factual, and true. Something that can be held and to be tested and tried in a court of law. That's why when you have real police and real detectives go out and do some real investigation, they say, let us bring you down to the precinct so we can get your statement, not bring you down to the precinct so we can get your narrative. That's why they call all of the case files narratives and not statements. I know what I'm talking about, and you can't debunk me. See, that's the difference between me and you, peoples. I think methodically, and you don't. I think meticulously, and you don't. I know what I'm talking about, and you don't. Period. So when you come high and you come mighty, you got to come correct, or you get rejected, peoples. Do you understand what I'm saying, peoples? Statements convicts. Narratives don't. Just like in the P. Diddy case, they never called Cassie Ventura up to give a narrative. They called Cassie Ventura up to give a statement. When did you ever see in any court of law come up, swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God, and then give your narrative? You ain't never heard that or ever seen that in a court of law. And see, that right there, peoples, tells the difference between someone who is in the know, who thinks methodically and meticulously, and someone who don't. Many people ain't on my level. Many people don't think the way that I do. And this is why I break things down in a manner to which I do, because now I'm tired of playing the games. We're going to get down to the nitty gritty. Do you understand what I'm saying, peoples? We're going to get down to the nitty of the gritty, and we're going to call it for what it is, not for what the people think, not a figmentation of one's imagination. Now, see, people's in the real world, with the real police, they don't take thumb drives to target. I said they don't take thumb drives to target peoples. Not a real police department. They have their own evidence laboratories and things. So for them to take a video footage down to target instead of using the services of the Chicago Police Department, that is already telling you hilarious and nefarious things is already happening. And then for a young lady to go and edit this video footage with outdated Photoshop software, that is already telling you all of this bullshit and nonsense is hilarious and nefarious. And those are facts. It's facts. And people's real surveillance footage don't have layers of other images all embedded in it. Composites, layovers, and the likes, peoples. If you didn't do anything wrong, why would you have to edit the video footage in the first place? If you didn't do anything wrong, why would you have to lie in the first place? If you didn't do anything wrong, you only lie if you did something wrong to cover up the things that you did. Do you understand, people? See, if you have to lie, that means you did something wrong. But if you didn't do nothing wrong, why do you have to lie? Why do you have to edit stuff? Why do you have to camouflage stuff? Why do you have to stop videos? Why can't you release all of the video footage? See, these are the questions that I ask peoples. The things that many of you don't even think about. The things that many of you are not even concerned about, because you rather would go with a narrative that some content creator created in his mind, saying that Franz Cave sent him a letter. Well, peoples, how stupid does that sound? And then if you believe it, you're stupid. Why would Franz Cave go and scour the internet just to choose one YouTuber, write a letter to him without going to the authorities? Like this content creator really has some type of power. Boy, people, the power of the tongue is a mesmerizing effect upon the people. And people can come up with some good old-fashioned stories. Old folklore is what they call it. And it tells me the type of people who listen to the content creator, because you guys come over here and try to bolster him, and you don't even know what the hell you're talking about, let alone he don't know what he's talking about. And for you to even come over here and even come with that nonsense is crazy to me. That lets me know that you are just stupid. You have no life, and you have nothing to offer. And so I can deal with ignorant people, because ignorant means that they have a lack of knowledge. I cannot deal with stupid people. Stupid people just refuse to learn. They think that they know, and they go ranting at them off, and they don't know shit. So I can deal with ignorant people, but when it comes down to stupid people, I can't deal with people. Stupid people just literally gets my goat. Do you understand what I'm saying, peoples? And for the simple fact that many of you will go and listen to this content creator, be mesmerized by the stories that he's been telling for the past 7+ years and stuff. And then you think you're going to come over here and dox me and, get into my channel and have me call out his name and stuff. You stupid. I know the play. And you got played. And see, you thought that you was going to escape out of here without getting blocked. But nah, I understood the play. See, they tried to say bye. But I said good bye. And never see you again. And block their ass. That's how you do it, peoples. That's how you have to do it. So, when you want to come to my channel with nonsense, well, then your ass get exit out of here. All right, peoples, let me go ahead and let me share this live, peoples. I want you guys to listen attentively to what this content creator had to say, because it's very interesting, peoples. And for what this content creator is saying, you know, it's really something. But you need to really listen to this, peoples. And so let me give a shout out to um let's see his name. Let me give a shout out to Strange Bar and Grill True Crime. And the title of this is Chicago Hospital's Body Harvesting Ring. Now, I've already talked about this to a certain degree, but I didn't go as in depth as this person did. This person really nailed it. And that's why I feel that I have to show it. But before I do, peoples, let me go ahead and let me do this real quick. Before I do that, let me go ahead and share this real quick. So let me go to Section 107 of the Copyright Act, peoples. Let me do my disclaimer. Disclaimer. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Is that all right, peoples? All right. And let me share one more with you, peoples, and then we're going to go ahead and we're going to take a look at this video, peoples. All scenes in this video has allegedly occurred. We hold no responsibility to what is being spoken. Peoples, that means whatever I say, you say, or anybody say in this particular line has allegedly occurred. And we hold no responsibility to what is being spoken, peoples. All right, peoples, let me go ahead and let me share my screen. You guys listen to this content creator attentively, peoples. I want you to listen to this content creator attentively, and I'll be back.
After a recent video I posted about people that went missing in Detroit hospitals, I was flooded with comments and stories from viewers with similar situations and stories. In the comments section, I was told about human body part rings that have been discovered over the years. Intrigued, I decided to slap on my tinfoil hat and dive into this rabbit hole. I immediately took that tinfoil hat off because I don't think I'm going crazy at all. Because the truth is stranger than fiction. This is what I found. In the quiet suburbs of Chicago, federal agents raided two ordinary-looking businesses and uncovered the unthinkable. Thousands of human body parts were meticulously cataloged and priced for sale. Heads for $500, arms for $750, or whole bodies for $5,000. Behind this dark marketplace was the Biological Resource Center of Illinois, a body broker operation allegedly deceiving donors who believed they were contributing to medical science and not having their remains sold for profit. This wasn't an isolated incident either. Similar operations have been exposed across America, from Arizona, where investigators discovered scenes reminiscent of Frankenstein with mismatched body parts sewn together, to Colorado, where a funeral home allegedly gave families concrete dust instead of ashes while selling their loved ones' bodies. These cases expose a troubling truth. While organ donation for transplants is strictly regulated, The trade in non-transplant body parts operates in a regulatory vacuum, allowing exploitation of donors' generosity and families' grief. But could these victims be more than just donors who donated their bodies to help others? Could a portion of these victims also be from missing people from all around the U.S.? Hello, strangers. Welcome back to the Strange Bar and Grill. I'm your host, JP. Today we'll be discussing the human body trade, a truth more disturbing than any conspiracy theory. In the frigid January air of suburban Chicago, federal agents descended upon two seemingly ordinary businesses, a nondescript crematorium in Schiller Park and an office building in Rosemont, housing the Biological Resource Center of Illinois. What they discovered would pull back the curtain on a largely unregulated industry operating in the shadows of American healthcare. But could this raid also hold clues to another disturbing pattern across America? The issue of men and women going missing from hospitals. Let's take a look. When agents executed their carefully planned search warrants at the two facilities, they uncovered an inventory that read like the manifest of a medical school anatomy lab. Thousands of body parts and tissue samples, meticulously cataloged. Heads, hands, legs, and torsos were stored in containers. According to federal documents later unsealed, these weren't merely medical specimens awaiting educational use. They were allegedly inventory in what authorities described as a body broker ring that illegally traded in human remains. Now, this federal investigation hadn't actually begun in Illinois. It started when authorities discovered scores of human remains stored on ice, not properly embalmed as required for medical specimens, in warehouses in Detroit and Phoenix. And if you remember from my last story, we talked about hospitals in Detroit and people going missing. I'll leave a link to that in the description. These discoveries created a trail that eventually led investigators to the Chicago suburbs and the BRCIL, the Biological Resource Center of Illinois. Like similar operations across the country, operated within a particular business model. The company solicited body donations from individuals who wished to contribute to medical science after their death. Such donations are vital for medical research and training. Surgeons practice new techniques on cadavers, researchers test new medical devices, and students learn human anatomy through direct examination. And what makes these cases troubling, according to investigators, was the alleged deception involved. Federal agents claimed that the BRCIL had assured donors and families that remains would not be sold. However, financial records recovered during the January raids painted a different picture, one of commodification with specific price points. Whole corpses selling for $5,000 and up, arms for $750, and heads for $500. Even more disturbing were the allegations regarding the condition of some of the remains. According to the unsealed documents, some body parts were infected with HIV, hepatitis, and other diseases, conditions that should have disqualified them from sale or medical use. So keep that in mind for later, because we'll touch on that again. These remains were allegedly sold to hospitals, doctors, and medical training facilities, both in the United States and internationally, potentially putting healthcare workers at risk. Now, behind the BRCIL were Donald A. Green and his son, Donald A. Green II, who together owned both the body donation business and the Schiller Park crematorium. On September 21st of 2021, the U.S. District Court of the Eastern District of Michigan convicted and sentenced Donald A. Green Sr. to 24 months of incarceration, 36 months of supervised release, and a $100 special assessment. And on October 13th of 2021, the U.S. District Court for the Eastern District of Michigan convicted and sentenced Donald A. Green II to 30 days of incarceration, 1 year of supervised release, and a $100 special assessment fee. In my opinion, that is not enough time for these types of crimes. I think they got off easy. But that was just in Illinois, because this Illinois case was not isolated. Similar investigations have exposed questionable practices in the body donation industry nationwide, revealing a pattern of alleged abuses spanning decades. In 2014, the FBI raided the Biological Resource Center in Arizona, owned by Stephen Gore. What agents found there shocked even experienced investigators. A cooler filled with severed heads, a bucket of limbs, and according to court documents, a macabre scene reminiscent of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, torsos with heads of different people sewn together. Gore later pleaded guilty to illegal control of an enterprise and was sentenced to probation. He got sentenced to probation for basically performing experiments with people's bodies, people's dead bodies, sewing heads onto corpses. Like, what the hell? In 2018, a Reuters investigation titled The Body Trade documented how the Detroit warehouse connected to the Illinois case was tied to businessman Arthur Rathburn. Rathburn was eventually sentenced to 9 years in prison for fraud and shipping hazardous materials after he was found to have supplied body parts infected with HIV and hepatitis to medical researchers. In Colorado, similar allegations surfaced against Megan Hess and her mother Shirley Koch, who operated Sunset Mesa Funeral Home. Prosecutors alleged they sold body parts from hundreds of corpses they were supposed to cremate, often without families' permission. In some cases, they allegedly provided families with concrete dust instead of ashes while selling the bodies. Both pleaded guilty to mail fraud and were sentenced to prison in 2023. But there's another disturbing pattern across America that few have connected to the body broker industry: people who disappeared without a trace from medical facilities. Nevaeh Richard, just 2 years old, went missing on November 13th of 2012 from a doctor's appointment in Cleveland, Ohio. Nevaeh has been diagnosed with Waardenburg syndrome, a genetic condition that causes congenital hearing loss and changes in pigmentation of the skin, hair, and eyes. Could she have been targeted for her genetic condition? There's not a lot known about this case, but it's believed that the mother or a friend of the mother took the child to a doctor's appointment, but it's unclear how the two became separated. Carlton Purnell was last seen on June 18th, 2024, at Northwestern Memorial Hospital in Chicago, Illinois. It's unclear as to why he was admitted to the hospital, but when nurses went to check on him after a shift change, he was nowhere to be found. His wallet and personal items were untouched and left behind. Of course, no surveillance footage could be found of Carlton actually leaving the hospital. Bartolo Diaz Ortiz, age 41, was last seen crossing the border into Arizona. 3 people were crossing together. They were apprehended, and they said Bartolo was taken to the hospital. When the other 2 inquired about him later, when they were in detention, they were told that he had died. Bartolo has not been seen since. Do you think it's possible that some of these people that are crossing the border are getting snatched up and made victims of the human body part trade as well? Let me know in the comment section. George Gregory Smith was last seen when he was allegedly discharged from a Detroit, Michigan hospital on May 1st, 2006. He was never heard from again. And again, no surveillance footage of him actually leaving the hospital. Frank Brown disappeared on June 3rd, 2015, after being hospitalized for seizures at Baptist Hospital in Jacksonville, Florida. And nearly 9 years later, his case remains unsolved, with no substantial leads or clues about what happened to him. Frank had been hospitalized for several days due to seizure-related issues. When it was time for him to be released, he called his brother Ernest and their mother to say he was being released and needed a ride home. Ernest and his mother showed up to the hospital. They waited in the hospital lobby for approximately 30 minutes, but Frank never appeared. When Ernest went to Frank's hospital room to check on him, his hospital room was empty, and hospital staff informed him that Frank had already left. Surveillance footage did show Frank in the hospital, but it never actually showed him leaving. Shanice Burrell vanished from a St. Louis hospital in 2011 while visiting her newborn in the NICU. Lamont Jenkins went missing from University Hospital's Cleveland Medical Center in 2014. Derek Chambers vanished from the Advocate Christ Medical Center in Oaklawn in 2012 while recovering from a minor surgery. And I can just list probably 100 cases here of people that went missing in a hospital. These cases share disturbing similarities. Many of these individuals disappeared despite security cameras throughout the facilities. Personal belongings were often left behind, and in several cases, the security footage has gaps or malfunctions at critical moments. We have to ask the uncomfortable questions here. Is it possible that some of these missing persons cases are connected to the underground body trade? Could vulnerable patients be targeted by those looking to profit in this shady industry? The geographic overlap is striking. Many disappearances occurred in the same cities where body broker operations were later raided. In Detroit, where Arthur Rathburn ran his business before being sentenced to 9 years in prison. In Chicago, where the Greens operated. In Phoenix, where Stephen Gore's facility was raided. The body broker industry operates in a regulatory vacuum. While the sale of organs for transplant is strictly regulated, the trade in non-transplant body parts has minimal oversight. Only a handful of states have laws specifically regulating body brokers. This patchwork approach to regulation creates opportunities for those willing to push ethical and legal boundaries. Now, the legitimate medical donation industry is vital to healthcare advancement, but the profit motive, combined with minimal oversight, creates conditions where exploitation becomes possible. When whole bodies can sell for thousands of dollars and there's little regulation to prevent abuse, we must consider whether this creates incentives for criminal behavior. It's reported that law enforcement officials won't comment on potential connections between these missing persons cases and the body broker business, but multiple agencies have quietly reopened investigations. The Illinois case, like others before it, raised important questions about how society handles human remains and the responsibilities of those who facilitate body donations. While medical science depends on such donations, the commodification of human remains strikes many as deeply troubling. The unsealed documents from the Illinois investigation revealed just one facet of a complex industry operating at the intersection of medicine, ethics, and commerce. For regulators, lawmakers, and the medical community, such cases highlight the need for greater transparency, consistent standards, and appropriate oversight to ensure that those who donate their bodies to advance science can do so with confidence that their final wishes will be honored with dignity and respect. For the families of the missing, the possibility that their loved ones could have been exploited in this way adds a new layer of horror to their ongoing nightmare. What if these disappearances aren't random? What if there's a pattern that has been overlooked? But what do you all think? Is there a connection between those that have gone missing in hospital facilities and the body broker industry? People will do anything for money. All I know is if you go to the hospital, make sure you have someone with you that you trust. You know that family member that's always ready to crash out? Yeah, that one. You should bring them with you too. All right, guys, that's going to be it. Let me know what you guys think of this one in the comment section.
And so, people, is there you have it right there. There you have it right there. You know, a lot of people didn't believe that human trafficking and organ harvesting is real, but as you can see, it happened in the city of Rosemont. It happened in the city of Rosemont, and they were connected to the CP, the Crown Plaza. You remember when the FBI did the raid and stuff and shut down that organ harvesting organization in the city of Rosemont. You guys remember that? And they were connected with Crown Plaza because they was in the same building and just one floor down. The police department was one floor down from the organization that was doing body harvesting. And so now, now you see where I'm going. Now you're beginning to see the connections that I'm making in things. And it was all in the video footage, people. You've seen these people come in with these totes and things, and those totes that they were toting around was totes that you take human organs in. And it was all on video footage. But nobody paid attention to that. Everybody was so infatuated about, oh yeah, did Kenneka walk the halls of that establishment? And look at this, look at that. Look at Franz Cave. Look at the beverage manager. Look at all of these people and stuff. Well, people's, my thing is, Franz Cave didn't do shit. Franz Cave did not unalive Kenneka. The beverage manager did not unalive Kenneka. Okay. And then the so-called people that was in the kitchen with Kenneka did not unalive Kenneka. That's the myth. They don't have no proof of that. All they can just go by is just these hilarious and nefarious statements. Well, not statements, but narrative. Case files, the narrative that the people gave in the case files and stuff. And so a lot of people derive their narrative behind all of that. And just because you've seen all of these people in a hallway with a girl who wasn't Kenneka Jenkins, that's what they base everything upon. And I told them, I said, if you go back and watch the live that I've shown on the other day, you clearly understand what I'm saying. Because, see, Lenora had even stated herself that number 3 and number 4 was at the establishment. And these people's numbers was in Kenneka's phone. Do you understand what I'm saying? So if number 3 and 4 is at the establishment and they are in Kenneka's phone, and Lenora had thought so much to go ahead and bring our shed light about them and stuff, well, that's telling you something right there, peoples. It's telling you a great deal. But to totally ignore that fact, because that is a fact. To ignore that fact, peoples, is really mind-boggling to me. To ignore that fact and then to come up with a narrative that all of these other people were supposed to have harmed Kenneka. Well, like Island Girl 49 had said, that's crazy. It's really crazy to me, peoples. I don't understand it. I don't understand how people can go and take bits and pieces of this case and run with it without looking at the whole enchilada. Looking at this thing as a whole and factoring in all of these things that was brought about in this case. Do you understand what I'm saying? And so, if we take for face value everything that TM had said, well, we have to look at it with a microscopic lens, because TM had said that nothing happened to my daughter. That's what she said. She said she told the people nothing happened to my daughter. Then she turns around and say, the ambassadors killed my child. Then she turns around and she said that she couldn't really say anything because she was threatened. And she said that Kenneka did not die in the manner to which you all think. Well, that didn't come from Edward Joseph's lips. That came from Teresa Martin's lips. Do you understand what I'm saying? And so
Teresa Martin said with her own voice, she said with her own voice out of her own lips these things. She said with her own voice out of her own lips that there was cameras above the freezers. Well, if there was cameras above the freezers, well then what is that telling you, peoples? That's telling you that there was video footage, right? And so if it was video footage, well then what is that telling you? It's telling you that you didn't see all of the video footage that they supposedly have. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's so much twists and turns to this case, peoples. And I get it. A lot of people wanted to protect TM. You know, a lot of people think that she's genuine and stuff, and I told the content creator, the only reason why we get on TM, it's not so much the fact that we wanted her or wanted to see crying in different things and stuff, which, you know, that's what you would expect if someone was to lose their child. But it was just the coldness of her behaviors. It was a combination of things and stuff. And they had every right to feel the way that they feel and to say what they say and to do what they do. Now, whether she likes it or not, of whether the people side with her or not and stuff, and whatever type of commentary she received and stuff, well, then that's on her because she brought that up on herself. Nobody brought that up on themselves but her. And then a lack of candidness. Now, even the content creators got pissed off when she didn't even disclose all of the information that was spoken in the court. She sealed everything up, and for good reason, because it would have painted a different picture of Kenneka, and she didn't want her legacy to be tainted. And so this is one of the reasons why she closed up the case. She already got her money. So, you know, you got your money. So, I mean, why not go ahead and open it up for the people to know? Well, obviously for good reason. You know, and so now one of the things that we can put to rest is that, and I've always asked this for many years, she never put a tombstone on her grave. But she finally put a tombstone on her grave. And so now we can't talk about that no more because she finally got a tombstone. And it's a beautiful tombstone. But it's not going to stop me from talking about that because of the simple fact that now this is just my belief. I don't believe that that's truly Kenneka buried in that grave. But that's just my belief. And I'm not asking anybody to endorse what I'm saying. You know, I'm not asking nobody to and stuff. All I just ask you to do is just listen to the live and you come up with your own conclusion. But at least I'm explaining in great detail why I don't believe it. Now, if you got a opposing view, well then again, like I said, I'll put the link down and, you know, you can come and you can express yourself in things in great detail. But if you come with bullshit and madness, I'm going to block you. You know, that's it. Time of playing games is over with, people. It's time to get serious about this thing. It's time to go ahead and make these connections and continue to keep bringing awareness to this case in a hope and an attempt that it garner attention and traction. Now, you didn't believe that you can go to the doctor and then you can come up missing? Well, there's this one case of a young lady who went to the doctor, and the establishment, which is the hospital,
sold her organs. And if it wasn't for the due diligence of the sheriff department, they wouldn't have never found this woman. The hospital, the place to where you go to get treatment, the place to where you go to thinking that you're going to, get some type of aid and assistance in whatever ails your body. And they're the ones who had betrayed her and the family. That's crazy, but it's not uncommon. It's crazy, but we need to talk about it, peoples. We need to continue to keep bringing awareness to these type of cases, so then that you or your family member or your friends or loved ones would never be a statistic, peoples. Do you understand what I'm saying? And so this is my endeavor, peoples. You guys hold on. Thank you for all of your likes and views to this live on tonight. Thank you for all of your likes and views up on the live that I had did the other day. Greatly appreciate you, peoples. But I'm going to get off of here now, peoples, because I got so much I have to do. But I'll be back on later on this week. And we're going to bring awareness to human trafficking and organ harvesting. And we're going to tie all of that stuff into the CP. Because I truly believe all of these players that was involved in this case, even the drug dealers and the gangsters, was all part of an organization. And understand one thing, peoples, it wasn't only Kenneka who had died. There was many other girls who played her that you never even seen left that establishment, peoples. And that's the remarkable thing about it, peoples. Just because you don't see them doesn't mean that they made it out alive. Doesn't mean that they made it out alive, peoples. And I can say this with certainty. All of those girls who played Kenneka that you've seen in the same attire that she was in, you ain't never seen not one of them other than this girl called Balls exit that establishment. Now, that's a fact. And we leave it like that. So, peoples, I hope I had said something to encourage your hearts upon tonight. Tune in again next time to when Edward Joseph Let's Talk Live. Edward Joseph Kitchen. Edward Joseph Gospel Hour. Edward Joseph's Blessings Giveaway 2025 will come to you with something wonderful. I love you with the love of Christ, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. Peoples, mask up and be safe. And again, peoples, it is time to really start to dive into this for what it really is and not for what you think it is. Peoples, it was a ritual night, a satanic ritual, a murder mystery game. And they played it very well. Until then, peoples, you guys be blessed and get your rest. And if the Lord says the same, I will see you soon. God bless you all. Thank you for watching.
Nobody does it better. Sometimes I wish